right, 1 2 3 1 2 3 dama kai tum na yan check mo downtown yan ko all right enti braba fa na fa nante emberfo mama Kwaba
yeah bro
boko de
boafo ne ready baba
dani Kwaba opokwa mponsa de mampo mponsa na osa asantu mponsa to mponsa
we achemfa na asanten sofa
achemfa ene o de o damu tu ene o de o twuma nso
obo fa da de fa
achemfa na asantefa kwasa bedi cause mojani mi ru nyina nya bete ene wasmo de
ba ko nim sika pe bana ba ko nim manso twa
ono ti abro sai so no twiki oso manso anyway but quick one Kwame mama busa semu Ansah na enkaya yi no ho de but owura ye friend say sports minister etwatwa
o say
boss Abraham tikasa etwatwa
Kwabena be di kama etiefo ajo na ya do ma sese o ma jemre eti onim say ajume efre wi ya bomwa ya sogu so na say ya beto aso enti emu ya de kakra mu fanche
emu su de wa na yeden emu wa ne mu yeden
ni o mu pa ne say ya ba de ni aba
yaba ne yaba
kaden krantie no
esiama kaden krantie
o say kaden krantie yeso mu si ofumu a omutimi wi aburo na wo mu wi na omu de aburo ni bia e signboard no ma tworo yaba ne yaba
yaba wiasa
ndi wo ko Egypt no waba de no waba akwa aba
na ba ni issue say as a of
sports guys na come on to mo bia didi ame
because players no see ya more $80,000 as a appearance fee said the obekai more $20,000
eniema say na ma politicians mu ye krumu a e journalism aye in krumu e time pa journalism aye no ha ye e time na sebi asi ye jimi ani ye nim de ye no man ni mu journalism ni ye kofa by ani ye bia keke na mu ye nim ba bia ye de ko we don't even know the purpose of journalism na ye no
really
yeah nim ha mega bia kire ho every media house in this country person will break it your friend say news you can say hey one na breaking news so when you follow up abro so 3 days eti no mko fa
anya nsam na doso
o say
nsam na doso
ensam doso okay ensam na doso ensam si America eche ha
America so che Ghana
and so America for say ye elections no yesusu say Russia for interfere in our business
see ekuremu
and I'm here no mo final report by almost 3 years
kuremu
only be tia no mo yen sa enya Donald Trump will be president in India na omo sha dig in deeply no more say okay so omo yeah then moving forward what do we do? You have to call my politicians. I want to say sports journalists, political journalists. You're gullible and you're poor. Oh yeah, dokuru journalists for Krumha. Krumha, one of the people are Krumha journalists.
You agree though?
No,
oh yeah, sure. Agree though.
Maybe do. Yeah, pa.
Agree though.
Ana adwuma na your friend.
Nana, I want for them content with the
Kwabena me chiro ehia ye pa.
Okay. Ebia in a contest
na me ka se ehia ye ya. Me hwe Pablo Escobar movie bi. You know one of the richest people who ever passed through this surface. Pablo Escobar. As to how he made his money, I don't give a hoot. Okay, say me.
Wenya.
Okay, say me I say I'm only a poor guy with money. I got poor. And yes, you can go and refer to. The mindset of journalists in this country Journalists are poor to the extent that they don't have self-esteem. One matter politician be I'm here man 500 Ghana, 1,000 Ghana, kakra, onyobia. Yet now is here na fruitable fruit. Onwa kuka. Oyara kuka.
Unibiaka.
Oyara kuka. Sports minister ba ye woni mse nkonkosi ba bia ntu ampa ne ho kura mua ya studio ameka sa asem we mi na minim de course.
Really?
Sanye ye mu bia ye de asi ho so se bi nyame ncha de efri bomfa achia se ba dem kura politin bag. Maybe to the first time I'm about radio mu ameye adwuma aban bia ba sa aban we. Enso nyame enhyeranka nyame se aban we ba ye Kwabena dia wose me kwa frifa masori anopa afra ne se ona bo na me chiawo ona bo na say en agenda bi en ho nipa no out because me worth. I know what I'm worth. I know Sabio. Woman penny kufu penson kofu betwa mu anom ye ministers o ye powerful. Richard na nemo. Ene ye bo mo yi. Omuni be bia. Oman penny mail se penson kofu betwa mu anom ye powerful. Koku anyi do mo. Ene omo yi. Omuni be bia. Eduma as the central regional minister will see shishi taxi driver so because he was too powerful. Peace here pure for him. Professor Mills time. It mean co politician who says set the agenda mame because minister politician or you too weak for my liking. Politician, Kwabena. Without the microphone, without the cameras, politician is nobody. But a journalist from reality, you don't even see the power. It was what?
Say Yanusuntina politicians, no so radio stations. Yanusuntina almost what radio stations. No.
A journalist here, Juma. Na Osha politician, botum. Sports minister. Your friend says, Yama. Asiama. Nasa bina die. Enko bebia.
Enko siaga.
Neba ko siaga na kufado ba ye. Jamefe committee. White paper so issue the to so. Na kufado kachire ye in the full glare of cameras say. Is it there?
On Kaikura.
Yeah.
Wouldn't be that.
Kwabena to my we mu ye de crocodile job. But you see, I blame NDC. And then the Sami Jamfi.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't mind
Sami Jamfi, with the greatest of respect. A very good friend of mine. And my person, a branch kama, a human no, a but I think Sami is not really focusing on what he has to do. Now, Kobani say, "Yana say, me money free consultation."
Why had they?
Me ba. Si etu koma say na sa emrantia omo bowura court. Eko yi eye judge. E see under NDC era. Anka every year be MPP be vigil.
Yen den kan ye ga beti ase. Ka lo bounce ma bo.
Election year na nke statue of judge na no to hono. Just to register in the minds of the people. Say, hey,
no, but
MPP NDC ye.
But NDC dia di omo na yo mo dan say ye ni pa miensa ye nkoche ni.
O de me ba.
Yanko se ba bi na de ye nche. Ade omo adwene kra sika no be charge no ehia no chen adwene no ade ama no.
Say NDC time. Ana chairman of a political party. Eko Gina play mu. With breakfast stock CEO, any general secretary of the party, no mucha keka, and NDC bechia momaya.
Kenchetia.
We yare. We echo how many years and son of the winning elections?
One more drag
Sada Jada, I saw for to. We echo how many years?
Bomsa.
Bomsa. Just say, my topic of crime for why you said this war. As a medium fee, the more how. Asam ba no akabia die ya no so die.
Be ma nyo no adwuma no
to boy.
adwuma no
Nemo mo kan kire ye chairman no wai chairman of the party and is chairman wai chairman for some boy
oh
yeah or that's your chairman of NDC.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, sure.
Oh, come on, you can't say this.
Kwabena my main
for the chairman
Kwabena mfa ntwa tia
chairman let me say it with confidence.
You see, journalists for the yeah pesmakafo. Yeah, that's sorry. The aba and yeka. Yeah, it's a be anton meko. And was sorry, I say meko 22 CD. Jenny befa bi koi. Amanens wow, yenye bisa. Yeah, the yen say a ton, kasa. Ana the aba and yeka. The ability of the opposition party to be able to hold conversations down, help us set the agenda,
and sustain the momentum.
I want to like it.
Anyway.
Medicine,
yeah.
Kwabena medicine. Journalists for the beya because I have say MPP and DC wo munyina ma me baako. The omoba do mu journalists for na wo award dey kakra say bia me ne wuti we no mama kade. Yes, one uncle and again say when him radio ye. Tida be asem ya ba obeka bi. Wo ni pabone for. Wo there's a special place in hell for wo. When you was for nyina bone awudi, we journalist bone awudi nti special place bi e wo hell ma. Na yen kan komre nyina nso ye Ghana for. Kwabena me blame Ghana for.
No, won't blame Ghana for.
Ma me blame
uni bibi. Kwale. Uni say Dani ebeya nwanwa say e kroma say we a media man o kan wasem so munya realize say you can hold your grounds e ya be kan de o pese wo kan even say NDC na support o share MPP for no mo fa ho plan say MPP na support o share MDC for no mo fa ho plan unless you play a come so ntimi businessmen and politicians in Korea near they find it difficult dealing with you. So ntimi no mo nko wia this one a general okay yenko wia yenye din let's see how we can cover up but so ntimi no mo nko wia say PDS ya man for din PPM mu general is for din PPM mu
general is one ko meeting wo din
PPM mu but at the end of the day
Santa Claus in fear
they give some of the money to advertisers no man can organize award program national theater omo abetua ma omo pe afresh atawale numa mo musika no man the award na ma womo just to always cover up their deeds. It's so simple.
You more anyway. You don't go any governor.
Daddy, well, they say can save ECG, but this finance minister, sports minister issue, what that you want to say? Yeah, die just like that.
Nedika menchia wetifu na say yama muhadie say wa wenitua asem no basa na yesum he ade be chen no na unti ehun asem biom but I believe say see ebu oman taxpayers money enye scared da ho undumi ga say ebuhie sike bi a and ebuhie japade a yaje ato ho a o se o ene memfa misantum Bobie na what they are ne open. I feel there should be accountability. Now accountability no should come from the discipline we instill in ourselves. Now Osha Nekosi wa Egypt here. My problem has to do with performance because utieti mua se budgeta ya de koye is more than how much we would have earned if even winning the trophy. It's a problem. Honugana for a sema but Ashas here Boba sports PRO say one the figures be abeto abo me who figures na ye menim nya you know and I say support technical you know sanye me na ye njai unless Ghana ye koyenim say oko Europe just say they are every now and then they get more advanced than us. And you know the focus should be on development. The focus should be on the change we want to see. Then yes, they be same issues. NDC bar you start assembly best Brazil and home same I felt
you're not that ho.
And no, at least we could have learned something from what happened at Brazil. But say Niakosi Brazil na Asakosi what Egypt. Then the question is that man never jai. Is it always going to be say ne no oh na anko ye skedi then I say okay yaka ni ejemu. You know, we should look beyond this kind of near yanhwɛ sɛ ne ɛbɛyɛ ama yɛ man no nso agina ayeye cause me gidi sɛ say ɛnyɛ me no won kwa yɛ nchirimba unless
well it seems like now the country is bleeding. One a National House of Chiefs a statement on the abano
yeah
on corruption issues no what can kai
men kind but I have heard of
it's terrible and I've heard you to say I don't know meaning amount for and they mentioned a PDS
issue there
yabeba so na Ansah na yabeba me na inu so no Senate enyema bi a Ghana for ekoso was Senate no nyame yadma Saturday yebe biem enyema bi a ekoso was Senate yatie NLA judgment debt free NLA ba say anya ye kura no man be $80 million there e be but as to say that is the actual figure you know so pende pimso BP Senate crowd the and then Newsday newspaper na airtime uhwemu a enhwe uyi wani so a enyi but you know you the better quick one oko a style from online new gagging in quote social media policy sparks uproar at Daily Graphic and mame and I am say a trendy on various platforms. It's just fair as media men say quickly we but Obefa a Star FM online also Graphic Communications Group Limited has barred its staff from sharing their opinions on social media without first publishing it on the company's platforms. The directive was contained in a new social media policy being rolled out by the state-owned media organization. The rollout of the policy has sparked uproar among staff at the organization, who described it as a crude way of gagging freedom of expression. And quote, "We just don't understand this. It is bad. Graphic is a leading brand in Ghana, and we are preventing our own from sharing their personal views on social media. It is distasteful and must be reversed by management." Unquote, one staff told starfm.com.ghana. But then Ombenya explanation from Emmanuel AJ Arthur, who is the graphic corporate communications manager. And let me quickly, run through it or say, commenting on the development in a Star News interview, Emmanuel AJ Arthur, graphic corporate communications manager, said the company believes the policy would help it to run professionally as a business. He rejected the staff's concern of gagging, saying, quote, "It is not a gagging order. It is a social media policy. I'm not saying that they do not have the right to comment on issues. We are saying that we believe that we have some of the most respected reporters and staff in this country. Their opinions are respected. So, if they have opinions, they should put them on our platform, which also forms part of the social media landscape." He further stated, so if you have an opinion on any issue you put on graphic online, it is part of the social media platform. Okay, we haven't said they cannot comment, but they should comment on our platform. And you are trying to get clarification from PR no Dakra. But was me hold on with the information PR no at the MI for now. But this is trying to say this is Akwaba.
Yeah.
Boko there. Anyway, quick. But now wait 1 minute on this graphic issue because we say as also will pick some few informations from graphic corporations. What do you think?
Well, Medikaini Obikasa graphic, and we're a leading member of graphic. Yaba in fact, the Casa Muno say on the enya gagging beer. Now, after all, when you buy bro, you was as we make us a war gaggeno. Now, the Omoya say is just a plea they are making. Say, they are also in a competitive field, and their members are highly respected. So, if there is any issue, instead of putting up bits and pieces of it on social media, then you can elaborate on that story and put it on a graphic social media page. Said they be a also following no ebe kosro na ama omonso they will stay relevant in the market. And according to ono no nye obi a na ga gena na obi ga gena wono de omba so be resign no be do abontium. Na nipa no so amene ni nkomo no se wa ya we se o fire brand enti clearly ono agi atum so me friend na wase menim de agi awo frɛ me na me de anya gagin bia na me anwene ye ho ne nka ho asɛm wase sa news na efa ye no yandua wo moka 8 months no mgoka Kwabena say
see we enye issue bema
there be no ono asem o ka say say yi no mo tworo ye no kwa ye ntwe o mo ka 8 months ne nka wasem na me de enye wo mo gagin ne no gagin asa
yeah so what is a graphic for issue no
me pacho me nya abreast with it and then no me tension also
o tankwa da high
pacho
anyway but enye issue ka ya yihunti yen we sit but almost say omo de ibi aba say omo ye adwuma graphic
matete ba me shedan ko mu de
yeah so obeye obema opinion bia untimi nko se bia ko Facebook page and I say
I think say on say we are see we na ye wono democracy no say wonti asia you don't need to be a lecturer or a professor or whatever. A layman point of view, no, you cannot do that. I buy any to me, or be any to me, so bet me I catch you be say, or your management in Tino, won't me,
almost some person build or more social platform, social media platform.
No, freedom of association or power or power. So you need dia, or bet me do a court. So no suit me, my out me, you'll be a dear. Because so far, you man one function, I say. And you see some of these things, no, are not a trivia to me, say, Obiti baby or Pese or show be so. We are not in a dictatorial regime. Oh, tyranny is a thing of the past. Expression of Obi a voice, and I say freedom of association is animal. Unless you want to behave like a tyrant, you can't put up some of these things in a democratic state like Ghana. And you know, me who say, Sebio, ni pebi obeyesano, that person should be thought of being myopic or something. Nyansenim. Ababienim, ababo bienim. Sa uti wiase. Na yeti democratic state mu. Ni yesi kabi mamen kabi. Enya kabi na menso mene. Na opesa also be mene. The word gagging no, nipa na menu afifa ni di nkomo no. I was say who say they are being gagged. Enya gag say ye ku gago. What you say? But say who say ontimi nkone they said the menu ba Mabel Akubana say eye. What's wrong with that? Why any articles? Why any BBA? Ejuma self fata so oye. Oko ni Facebook page no oko Twitter and so oko send a post and I say bia the timeline so I show BBA.
I mean, that is different from Majuma Oye. And then be a wakotro, I didn't so trana. So you should see, say, in a very broader manner, no. Nipana or share Sadi and Aseno. Or person will follow on where I did be started. Now, I am not the piano. When I start on that tangent, people feel, say, I say, you are being a personal watch. And I say you are trying to push, character assassination or character watch in discussion. Sure. MPP regime ya ye woman CCA. Shall man panico for? Just suppose or man panico for somewhere to no with asemfo for. With obi to say yenua wakotena radio so keke. So near Kufadu Nyadri Yakoche Nebono. I'm speaking about Mia Masem. Yeah. What must I say? Yeah. It's your Fox FM. What must I say? Just a positive. Oh, let's see. That was 2009. Yeah. Yes, 2009.
Now near Kufadu Nyadri near Bachu.
No, Nyadri. Yachime Bome. I had to go to South Africa for someone in But you see, this is someone ya advocate. Ya can Ghana
that was party internal issues as a MPP
member. No, I just want to make it look say and yet told me and never be a president. She said Gregoria Foko ya money bail, court bail. With impunity, police is a man.
So that is the police. You deal with the institution.
Yes, no, but
so you deal with the institution.
So you do Kanyada now say Mahama on the son Kanya Magana for them. The back stops with the president. So institution will be because what Ghana institution more graphic communication. Yes, and you may quite but you say leader no and let's say what the status. Share yes Christo no sure for in California. P no Montesano. But almost say ye best no say yes Christo nya me ba no best. Oh, sure, the odie no sure the odi kanante. President Democratica. Look at the tolerance level of President Kufuor. Look at the tolerance level of John Dramani Mahama. The tolerance level of the late Prof. Samuels. The tolerance level.
I beg to differ.
No, very tell me about I'm not speaking your opinion. That's why.
When me by adwene say okay working. Yet to come say na Professor Mills time. Yes, say Abrante bi akotena Great FM. Na nada kwa enim so mekai.
Oh mekai.
The tolerance level. Yakoche no bono de no kokko police station. You cannot compare say because an incident happened and those leadership. Enti yemfa subo ni nyina abo. And then Professor Mills so. No intolerant.
No. Was he arrested or he was beaten?
What's it?
Was he arrested or he was beaten?
Whichever way. In the first place, why did they even arrest him?
Oh, okay. I know they say democracy.
It was also freedom of speech. Na obia ka se.
Enti waka asem ni we na ye ne kotun nu, ye ne bu nu, ye ne kun nu, e ne kosi sen.
No, I know they counter with what you are saying.
Yes, but I'm trying to also get him to understand.
No, I hope you understand where he's coming from.
No, I get the point, sir.
Because also BBS and Nanado.
Yes.
Let
us look at them.
Now we are in Professor Mills. Sir, or the yardstick Nanado should be measured with that.
No.
And I am giving you.
I'm trying to let you see. Yeah, the idea be Amagana for Yentini and think rightly. Share Nipano, do dear Nimu, and a chief Fusiano. It is a Professor Mills. I
also don't say
Professor Mills a goof. At one point there for you, I just want to say, must Nanado also goof continuously? Goofing big time, where when it comes to tolerance, when it comes to human rights.
Okay, let's move on. That's not the issue.
And matters arising with dictatorship.
Then a quick one on this graphic issue. Thank you. Quick one on this graphic issue. 1 minute. Me come in a discussion.
Okay. Me jide say baby we drew in terms of democracy, no. Things like this, no, they are irrelevant, for lack of a better word. Say you see, kebi mamin kebia, unless it should cut across board. Ma yen shem rebini and kase and because obitiachia the only interpretation or the yeah we say it is in favor of some political persons or party. Because if offer news will be to say graphics now, you come out with such a statement or a directive, I feel it doesn't fit in considering more level of and at least they should allow their workers have that freedom to do whatever they once it doesn't conflict with shisha na the way niema esefano. Yes, I think raise your no it's kind of interesting. Some person broading social media base or whatever. Yes, it's good, but I don't think this way is the best way to go. Cause now SNA shiny panoso. Cause me ejuma wo Accra FM. Na yemfa say my be ejuma ya the topic be out for ya kan wie na me Facebook. It's my personal Facebook account.
Na me say
account na I feel my personal opinion. Me tweety bibi and me posty bibi. How does it concern Accra FM? It's my personal account. Any graphic for they should create account for their workers. No one say yes. Cause
I will describe to your create monty. Who be a one say?
No. First now you just sign out and then with internet. I won't describe it as garden, but I feel considering baby if we are see it's irrelevant.
Anyway, okay.
You see, sometimes and so you're very careful how we go about things. May there be a stay neutral and try say make sure one.
We neutral.
Before say
we neutral.
Say neutral and just make sure and go for be neutral. Don't see him chakra. One. Before say me be jumama Happy FM. Okay. Now me wo me Facebook platform. I me live videos. And yet me nya the simu ajandam ne de. Zawa we. Na me tunu hum. Na me be jumama Happy FM. One time me tu jandam we. Sa jandam no wa kasa kwa afra say hey tete break. Yesra wa tete break. Now omo kama asem no omo anka se okateche free fa Ansah wo omo kan nu wi a no omo dia soso se ye wo ya adwuma wo Happy FM no now whether umpeu na me express me opinions which remain my opinion on my platform, but because I am associated with that brand Happy FM na ye twe omo bewrem etianye careful say yes, maybe Kwabena abayana events in the
class P.
Dela one also on the free or on a personal life. But the personal life now will live, at some point interferes with a partnership with
now
the American say why my limit the number of times I do Facebook live lately. Not because Obi give me and also mami new. But maybe we will say bia because cancer man can hear na ya Happy from my
but where omon kasa man no so da.
But many ni panso a many ne kasa ye you nim ni pakro. E kasa was say on feel say no.
That is one opinion.
But this is one of the persons we can use as example say see no be kasa.
No, now we are using objective test. Again, a third person on Nam Street who are begging. I mean, so we are using that test anyway. And you lose your time now. I say now one quick comment on Facebook. David Entry says, "Man, you are never neutral," and I think the person is referring to Okatechi. Bismarck Coca says this government has nothing better to offer the citizenry. Loot and share everywhere, and offering fraudulent contracts had become their hobby. Mesbel Dofo are joining Mabel. Thank you. Joko to Gideon says, Bobie, I'm live here to okay. Sticky is 7. I'm struggling to understand Kwame Mensah and Bobie Ansah. I think the media is the fourth realm of governance. So what are you doing? I think you guys are not doing enough to help the country. Just to leave everything on NDC and MPP is sending the country backwards. Simple. You guys are the problem. Your opinion. Kennedy, Kensey citizen Kennedy watching you live from Ashaiman More Fire Rise. So thank you here. Ebenezer Intre. Ebenezer says President Akufo-Addo's government here is real liability on Ghanaians. So if I may ask, does the president know the reality on the ground? So a country Ghana okay, so let me leave this one. What have we done, crowd, to face this? Ghana youth, let's rise up for once, because at the rate corruption is going under this Akufo-Addo government is beyond control. God bless you, Commander. This one is from Eric Insana, watching us live from campus in Sawem. All right, so another one here, and I think one of my inner physical crash. So, as I want a bebano, yeah, bekoso on WhatsApp 05,026,135. WhatsApp will be to me there, but my member, yeah, me panel members no background to these issues. Ninya PDS ECG matters are rising. Ofa eye ensema shasia PDS saga step aside but mode to minister. You know one issue. Then later assemble PDS fight back. Philip Ayesu PDS board chairman ebe chire ensemnu, which I think say munyina mo ya aware with Ayesu explanations, but just that is good say mechipi we na enyane enema ewo mumu. Another issue here, investigate PDS contract thoroughly. U.S. Embassy urges government on the same matter. You have reviewed, I think Jesse, 2 others to take up shares in PDS reviewed. Okay, so that one too is here. Then we have the letter, year 27th March 2019, Kenoforiata actually koma akutampao. Yom sha says some diverted some of the shares. After this, we will attend a yenteso. We will see a union say no. That letter too is here, and my panel members can go through. We have now a new update on this matter. The GAG makes a good governance advocacy group Ghana. Convener Mr. Listowa Nanapoku Listowa ya OTA na omo de asem kodai special prosecutor Martin Amidu Amidu ade ahete back say omo ntimi probe the PDS saga. And quick one, I mean, go through me quotes, yeah, or quote to you. The special prosecutor Martin Amidu has said his office does not have the mandate to investigate financial economic crimes. Financial and economic crimes. The section of Ghanaians, including civil society groups such as Good Governance Advocacy Group Ghana. Okay, so yeah, almost some of the command. Mr. Amidu, in a statement, said his office cannot probe the PDS saga, end quote. Just yesterday, 6th August 2019, I read here in Ouagadougou on Ghana Web that the Good Governance Advocacy Group Ghana was petitioning the office of the special prosecutor to investigate the circumstances leading to the suspension of the power distribution services concession agreement. It wants the office to investigate and prosecute fraudulent activities or supervision over corruption, nepotism, cronyism, favoritism, and usurpation of another minister's powers. Quote, the truth, and the truth is that Section 79 of Act 959 severely restricts the jurisdiction of the office of the special prosecutor to fight corruption and corruption-related offenses in Ghana, unlike in other countries that are fully committed to and adhere to their obligations under the United Nations Convention Against Corruption, the African Union Convention on Preventing and Combating Corruption, and the ECOWAS protocol on the fight against corruption in their domestic anti-corruption legislations. The ruling of the High Court in the case of the Republic versus Ayarga and one other, 17th July 2019, High Court Accra, unreported, underscored the point I have made on the remit of the office to a limited extent only based on lack of detailed particulars and should be a guide to the public. I annexed a scanned PDF of the ruling as a separate attachment to this paper for educational purposes, the statement said, and below is the full statement. Until Oma a full statement, Martin Amidu Ede Ebae. Now another update, PDS concession fiasco, an unfortunate setback, Mida. And so Edia Omo Ede Ebae Enono. Apart from that, Mida as I issue another statement on this particular matter. So Nedie intimidate no Ebeka hon Ede Amamo. Each step of ECG to PDS transaction was carefully scrutinized. And mame and running through and also krabi mamo na munya picture ni the Millennium Development Authority MIDA has said, contrary to reports, each step of the ECG PDS transaction process prior to the handover of ECG distribution business and access to PDS was subjected to careful scrutiny and various stakeholder approvals. In a statement Thursday, the authority clarified that the scrutiny involved several documents submitted as requirements for the transaction process. Quote, in line with best practice in international business transactions, all documents submitted as part of the transaction were accepted on the basis of good faith and the presumption in law as to their validity, unquote, MIDA said. Government has suspended the concession. Okay, so that you know another issue amount for areas in the say bepem say ye kase no yes nipa bi airco US omoko Kuwait and Qatar bepem the government ema yehu nipa kro ye mobo din yehu yenim se asono sia na obenten e na airco ye no so ya de a ha omanfo. So that's it. Say gag for the day acquaint message free say na metwa e de eba list of PDS ECG gag Matiamidu matters arising fraud. Energy minister are raising issues about fraud. Yeah constitution here clear. They even intent say over committed fraud, a criminal act that you should be punished. Into energy minister raising fraud, the people involved would they be punished? And I say, and also yeah claim. But whatever it is, in Jama, Yanko.
Well, to begin with, my main fakwenye suncheti phone na me bana menu more allied oil. Ewo abelimpi.
Oh, okay.
Oh, na we biem. Ana me ban so me take we do baby traffic was out to me say am for tie pa e ma obi adwo na we dey me fa kunya so na masre obi a se obi emi na som na ontie ye ahom no e kasa kira safo commander am say enene nansa say me specifica ena yetimi ede petition kodan Owura Martin Amidu na if a petition na ye ready Sunday no sebio a Christopher kwa sorry yantimi amfa nko adwada nso no na yese a holiday nti yantimi amfa nko na ebinada na yenya ebre ma courier service de koma Owura Martin Amidu na say enano pay me da hodin na me tese me fun suna me hwe na chese Owura Martin Amidu wa respond to yensem na I was shocked after some kind krata na Owura Martin Amidu etroye no esan say baby ana the impression of the public. Osha Onoaka was stating a very categorical say. I had to say a section of the public, I dream here and say the office, where they say meso akuna kesi mapo talk akra. Or say the past weeks.
It seems PDS is back into the game. Information as is here may pick it from ECG. Information be a may pick it say new regulations be a benumri. That ECG be collected the revenue and PDS in the bay maintenance and management of the company.
Was he going to
That's the new so PDS are perpetrating fraud are still there working. Yeah, let's go.
Enti so hwe owura matiami du krata otroye na ya geno ekwan miensa bi so na de di kan ne ye tumi a omampani Nanado Danko Ekufuado abra ye swear into office mekai eye omampani nanu di semo a odi betu dwa na sebio o kire adwuma owura Martin Amidu omeye enti Martin Amidu ye tro krata akoma no sebio ye kuyi aloya fo ajaji fo enim fo wom enti no ye trabrewa uti Wagadugu and I will reply krata so da desk so and the media are report to because sebio ye tro pani krata nimdini nyansani ti se Matiamidu krata yentimi leak the full details of krata na ya tro come out into the public domain enti krata na e wo office no e wo sa wo de unsa som na as meticulous as ye nim se Matiamidu oye no onya ndaje kinkan krata na ye de akoma no sebio minyini se Matiamidu krata no nsaka na se nsaka pa na otro krata ya ba enka ebe me ya because ye wo gidie se nsaka krata na obe render an unqualified apology me wo gidie because he has jurisdiction. Yes, it could be say not fully say he could investigate, but we are very much aware say there are things that a worker tana ye true anymore Owura Matiamidu or what the mandate and power to investigate. Enti commander ye de konkon ho ne ye say me ento nkoso ne yankinkan ena wie ye meeting na ye hwe say tumi na omampani ejina bedwam simpie so ka say ye di Matiamidu ba ye the special prosecutor ba and na all count like a boxing announcer no the office of the special prosecutor or come out be who say no Obama ketasese ne proye ye to be twa sana kwesi no jina kwentia because odi onsa benkum emma Owura Matiamidu adwuma ena sabi onsa nifa aso ne pɛnchi sɛ me de adwuma na ma onso menye me de adwuma na ma enso menye enti ye hwe na ehu sɛ no parliament ne the legislature ne executive arms of government no omo mienu omo moagana for they should not get us to have a feeling say onam krono nti enam ketasehenti the office of special prosecutor no as omom preso but yenya no na anya populace because Owura Matiamidu were raising very serious issue na ade na we raise here no eye nim guase ma aban we because opeso o kire say tumi a aban dia ma no se ne Ghana fo adwene ye yen say or to me to investigate all corruption related offenses no
yeah
so to me no oni bi and obviously nisema o kan no eye no kure that is not to say your petition no ntimi hwehwem e bi wo ho a obetimi ahwehwem because apart from Matiamidu a o hwe baby kura ye gina so pote on say ne functions for the purpose of a TFO ntino
yeah
as special prosecutor no I mean kind of functions no na yenhu say owura Matiamidu say only jurisdiction so obehwehwe sansem ni mu a then I will rest my case say anye bia no say bio Ghana enye ba akofo dia na owura Matiamidu yes functions yeah. You are not my commandate
yeah
or say at least let's even begin with the object of the office na juma potianu nti yete office no or say section 2
yeah
A or say the object of the office is to investigate and prosecute specific cases of alleged or suspected corruption and corruption related offenses. 2B or say recover the proceeds of corruption. TO commander TSM you and when you gina so a de e corner your petition say ye gidi sen kophobia wi Ghana sika through the agreement na mo ye no because sabio ukoto shares or company bi mu a enne wo sori na ukugina ayi ye kan say Bank of Ghana and I say any other bank and I say MTN say ukoto shares na say wo kona unika pre uni sika bia ode to na uni ene bibia eso unu eso wasene say ubetimi ato shares na ukugina na say o say wo to shares na mo toma wa me gidi say e beka so mo danka bom. It has never happened in this world. And see that. And you chrono at the highest level. And so the process of campaign now or toy no or kotona oni kapreno or jigun bottom. Now Namati Amidu Trokrata we brewa. And was saying who say Ramati Amidu Kratana de command on kind on dia koso. Media reports na ebia odi achi anase obi na afre no na nipa no afre no so no ebia na oka kron. No
but the article was stated we say Oridino on
Ghana web.
Exactly.
Okay, so
because
that's
Wagadugu.
Okay, so that NTM fan say Owura Matiamidu the preliminary response no because only detailed on our petition. Or ye detailed that because we are going to write to him. If I throw crack say because you perceive the petition no response no ekoshia no Wagadugu. Oh say if Muhammad doesn't go to the mountain must go to Muhammad
anyway
no
why do Wagadugu
I know the mean to minka ebi ana man pani asoma
won't mean tira na won't minka means you know something but won't mean
ka ma me do say no si tro yi wa tre hotel kro wo na me nko kana
o tre hotel
o tre hotel a oda nyina onim
Martin
o tre hotel a oda nyina
kada je o for wesa
me ni mu hasem
o do for gasa
Kwabena say me free sire mu ba ne de nkuto bebre asisi adan fefefe na mo ze na awia boy o se awia boy de na me ni ho di menim di esi
me ba de me hu si esi anyway let's go
o tre hotel oda nyina
yeah
enti commander I realize say the functions no and what say there are portions of a nyoma yedia mana aban no kwasiko no ogina kwantia
the next for
enti yakoka functions na say any Owura Matiamidu krata was atro ya odi be rebati yensem yi no em say krata no nyanya bi hwe functions no 3A or say 31A
yeah
or say to achieve this object the office shall 1A investigate and prosecute cases of alleged corruption or suspected corruption and corruption related offenses under the Public Procurement Act. Adi we call public procurement. Okay. Sebio, or mine away Japadi. And will be so procure at the any free or mining sem or privatizing. And by all standards, a sole source in a course, by all standards, Sebi, minim say, a Diania being cradia slash minim. Sabbing. And Tima Busa on Ram, tell me to say, in the petition, you know, the coin, and Busani say, I don't know, doesn't it amount to sole sourcing? Because Omwa Babe catcher say, companies in Sia almost started or more bedeno. I feel we are saying, not Omuna Sana Kakro. And almost sole sourcing man. Nipada almost like a chronos or banson in Sapine. Mikwa de hone hamen.
Unkrata dama.
Ne yin so insurance guarantee so enyejuma. Now, 2, or say B, investigate and prosecute alleged corruption and corruption related offenses under the Criminal Offences Act 1960 Act 29. I hope NMC Urama Tiami do fee say ye invoke the powers to go and do that investigation, no, because a hono or man penny de man one fan can. When we raise a big alarm, say the public no or man penny can we assume say, yeah, Matemi do a bass or more movie sika or Mahama ben we have a tromo, no more movie sika or Mabem you have a tromo, no Matemi do a canny pay say or man penny, said to me, no, any parliament or more farm man. It is our perception that way I dream, no. Matemi do ama or a Kufuado, His Excellency Netwate. Nti ya no salete we no
trust anu abie
trust anu abie tani trust anu abie trust anu abie se na asa anwa nti anwa egu Flagstaff house so ba bia so man pani trust anu eden abie now ukosi na or say investigate and prosecute alleged suspected corruption related offenses involving public officers and what attitude ye call ni invoke ye. Say, I did we public officers be to say, can you for your tar or ye kufa dunia na only a conacrana or no one can na downful. I only a beer companies in me data bank in enterprise or no one chocho mucho keligajepu or no one young kufor and or more edu makusisi asoye bia no a enunti ama sale of anase share na omoto no aye smooth because sekeli gajepo onye board chair o ECG a enka board chair bia woti ho bia no ko be make sure say there will be a proper documentation to the sale. I want to try a public officer and I say 2 politically exposed persons. 3 persons in private sector ho na minua ayesu ene ye wofa ye nua pani seconds no ni chumu no mpanifo asabi nkomo abo mo bra wi a nka sabi o omo ya japade e kura de nkomo fo mo fare mu no ho na private sector fo no omo wo ene ebusa question say owura matiamidu wo functions yi actually say adwuma no eye wadwuma. Now must we come and tell you mandating so invoke mandate in a mandate. And yeah, one was say Orama Chamidu. What Socrata Wabra own petition, you know. Because Sebi no one lawyer Ghana. And I knew say he's a man of integrity. No, the reason why I chose together with my group not to allow for us to use any other courtesies, no, is because of the integrity of Matiamidu.
Supposed integrity.
There be okay. Suppose that me ye kayasem.
Supposed integrity.
That word is relative. Oh no. Ye say ye di Matiamidu di. Say Matiamidu. Ghana ha ubi antesano. Hey. Oh yeah.
Since when?
Oh. Matiamidu. Wabe dem benyina wabe rough. Wabe mawoshi. Oh, if you say or shall see say episodes Commander, what to say? Or the episodes by me my kind of was in Daddy, because one may have adwuma all year. And yes, see a kwanya abba. Nini pa sebio omon peso be ye adwuma na kitase se ne proye ne kankan ne dwuma adoko aban yi sabio omutimi fa oban japade ton ma omo ho ni omo nua no obetimi aboa ma yetimi ahwehwem adomu asuko ama yehu ne fapem enti no yesa ura matiami du say sabio ye mane nya adwuma ontimi nye but he should add his voice to our voice and in one accord no let us redeem this state asset because anye bia no Ghana ye japade de eni kwase allow say nipa ba ku bi ene na busua ne na yonkofo mefa nkonkodi yesi tire ni tire nkan enchesa abonte sofo mefa nkodi
Mercy Ababak Bio live on Accra 100.5 citizen show Thursday evening and yeah Bremen I say nkoma yeah a domino manfo yeah almost 80 online Facebook and now we have about 111 messages here on Facebook WhatsApp chats and so yeah bebo boso but adia manfo ho adwiri wo mo de omo ate PDS the way almost see as snake about shemu back but anyway quick comments here Giovanni Oche Dr. Baumia will be replaced by Ayokuboche because of PDS refused the cabal led by Ken told him he will be replaced. Okay, so let me leave this one just one of those things. Oh no it's speculations mean Kai will be speculations. Well, but the point is, Obibe use me as vehicle to carry. Okay, any abrabation natural 2 people or something. Who go for your 2 p.m. Ashanti. I'm really enjoying the show live from Mampo Ashanti. It's me 2 p.m. Okay, so that's my big brother from Ashanti Mampo. Mechia Efiefu, Eben Yeboah says Bobie more fire. Williams Mensa Bobie, we have a very polarized and compromised media in Ghana. The sports media is more of bootlickers and beggars, and that is the bane of this country. Okay, so Ebenezer and Trail Katachi, the acting youth president, has said it all. My chairman of Oswampofo is there and working well. It's the duty of the media to expose the government. Do your work as media men and take the NDC out. We voted mediocrity into power. So why complaining? Angel says Bobie is clear. NDC is on a propaganda path just to destroy this government with corrupt issues. And so, one from Walanyo Akwetia says kudos to Akwetia Development Association. Okay, so Jamil Muhammad says more fire. All right, Richard Atubuga, I really love your show. Okay, thank you. Ken Kaka says please almost 95%. 95% from okay, 95% of journalists in Ghana are stomach journalists. Okay, now Imran Hassan says the problem is with the so-called senior journalists. All right, so that's it. One from Innocent Kwaju. God bless you, Commander. You always choose most important topics. All right, thank you for following us on Facebook. My main question say meet me Danny Yanante Danny Yango
say CGPDS and say media aye hu near edikai me church name mo kakra emfa ye energy sector and compact no ho ohwe ye energy sector na ye niema miensa no that has to do with production no which is being handled by VRA and then the IPPs, independent power producers no and then we have the transmission and only a grid ko ejuma na fe so distribution and no ya ECG ejuma PDS for beji if you compact na it was purposely targeted at the energy sector, precisely no distribution, because yati hai se kanya ni wanka menyi ni se wetiefo ebenya akwenya atie so ti hai atai no kama shren that's we twi so fine ni na electricity. Ebe free ha kwe ebi abedru fie na ade asa aduane ntumi di ni nyina ne ebe ka no se o ami fan she fridge mu na electricity. Enti no energy nye ade a yedidi agro. Ebiom se omampanyin ama Ghana for ate omo ase se he is on an industrialization driver. In all advanced countries are omoye industrialization agenda no energy. Otie AGI for kra ohwe PDS nsemi omo issue statements bebre. Enti no se o say 1D 1F ne industrialization in the kan ho na, then you need to prioritize your energy sector. Now ohwe challenges are na ECG. The major problem was political interference.
Okay.
It was one of the major problem. Enti no say abai no ehun say this is the challenge there. Na waba. And then something like this is coming and then you rush in because I feel say it was a rush. Oshe 6 companies here we hear say Miansana umufri muno. It was because of the review of the initial compact, no. Because there no 80% no. Every private company is interested and every private person is interested in profit. Obia amfani sika nko share ejume mu no or you say ne ambishi mu no I'm running at a loss. Eyen fa so ntina obaye. Enti no 80-20 no. At least it made it attractive. But Ubon said Miansana Kayan was after the review, which was 51-49. It was a good move by the government. Yeah, but Abana Basoso to me, Bibisa.
But initially, now we are against the privatization.
Yes, more especially the percentage values. In terms of 80-20, no, we felt say it wasn't.
80 for who?
80 for the foreign investor and then 20 for Ghanaians.
Local or indigenous.
Exactly.
But they would have brought money.
They would have brought money. But OSHA conditions now, at the end of the day, after 5 years, no more say they'll have to lay off workers, which was another major challenge. But OSHA review now, they were able to secure jobs for the workers because they say, private, and you can't blame the private man. To maximize profit, you need to cut cost. Now cut the cost that say workers here 100. Now you are expecting at the end of the day you need to make about 90% profit. At least you need to lay off people. It's normal. ABB at TC. And to the once it has been reviewed that workers no are safe. No, at least Nipa Bakun may be feeding about 10-20 hands. Now coffee it will create problem. Because unemployment already is a major challenge in this country. And we felt that the review was okay. Now PDS are ebebimuno. Ebiomo yebebo minister about to say he was able to detect this fraudulent action. Na yehwe nim say on my penny at the asuchi ewo ho no. Ghana for I believe say that is the expectation of most Ghanaians. But
Danny Asuchibi
I believe with the charisma of the president, no, the perception that he is not corruptible, he's not corrupt. I believe say he won't allow this issue to
slip. Perception.
Of course, and I use perception well because. All this corruption allegations in the America is difficult to tag the president with it. It's difficult to tag him. You may say people around him, and I say, and the chief of staff, and the deputy, and the minister, but you can't point your hand to the man. Say he's involved, and there hasn't been any clear evidence to prove say. Papa no who born asembi mu. Yes, he's the leader. At the end of the day, no, Ghanaians will hold him accountable because he anto ama minister and he anto ama deputy. Ya to mao. And you know, if something goes wrong, Ghana will hold you accountable. That fact should be made clear. And I believe, sir, with his intention of industrialization agenda, no, if Nanado say he wants to win this industrialization drive agenda now, then he needs to prioritize his energy sector, because at the end of the day, factories so then need na electricity. Me no Martin Amidu issue no mebo me list or abaso on Nico Omaya dear. Yes, it's in the right direction. They be a mekase Ghana no say drew yan so say ye bebo Ghana ho ban. And you know, once they've made that move, no, oh my idea. But only a lawyer for being so didn't come on. They say himself no acquire for and against. Yeah. It be HSA Martin Amidu doesn't have that. It doesn't fall within his jurisdiction because Oshe the function, even the section of the law now or the Ejumana, it doesn't give him that right to, you know, handle matters like this. Yeah. Internal lawyer need be clear say we no monka charge and yokomu because Martin Amidu no though the Jumano has to do with corruption nessa niamano, but we say we no lawyer need be the case akwa say ne obi akọ rape obi na say Martin Amidu kono kodi the same way, you know, it doesn't more share. You understand?
It's pie.
Okay, good.
Because it's pie.
Say I try can we say achieving the aqua and camp.
Pie.
And you know, I say I will urge many stores say they should keep on, cause we want transparency, accountability, probity. Then this is the way to go. And to they should fight on, but say I dare no quiet to say which hand and I say maybe who I then say Martin Amidu say traj ebeboa, they should take it to traj. Say Yoko beboa, it should go to Yoko. It shouldn't be say Martin Amidu say political gimmicks be, you know, that is the interpretation and call for
just to tell him say petition tragedy no na me aduma channel for almost abeka. And I you consider no nyame aduma echinewia because lawyer obe boy you could no say I feel no free kuma seba. May assure you say we are not sleeping.
Okay, inteno I think say
because
inteno afa biom no aban no atutu na monbia I feel say it's in the right direction. Yate say aban a launch full investigation into this matter. Na yejidi say ebewie ase no na baby anokreda no omo de ato ho. Omo asa set committee of experts omo boa ama investigation akoso. Yeah pa ye ne say enkosi ye man ko say na ye the findings ni no
committee members
exactly but the point is him that will find it wrong now would you say people should be punished.
Oh, the minister no amayati as say there has been some fraud
minister Nemudia, because it looks like I'm a can't different
finance minister
finance kwaju upon Ansah boakwa one also can different and the minister say Nemudia.
Okay, I'm
okay.
I mean why? Because
because I'm so surprised to say substantive minister na nkasa wo ti asem no ano no wono edi asem na animu no wono say ya perpetrating fraud ewe yeso ana wote akonwa nimu ana kwadwo ponko Ansah boakwa ebo mu ka kire Ghana fo se afeni ko enwe mu meba
anyway
Minister Ora Peter Amewu Amayati asem me di Amewu asem ne be ejuma.
Sure.
Because at the end of the day, information minister, we know say he handles everything that has to do with information in terms of government day-to-day business. But near minya penye mensaka ye near onoti akonya no mu na eye ne ministry no. In fact, obian to me convince me say Opon Kuma has an upper hand in terms of PDS issues than Amewu. Because if it was so, Opon Kuma should have been able to detect this fraud. But it took Amewu to detect. So at the end of the day, near Amewu Bekana, Mijidi say Ghana for the Baye Ejuma.
But the kind seems so more rubbish in your kind, because since we're raising issues about fraud, there have been counter statements from government officials against him,
and even PDS. To the extent that commander, okay, so okay, fraud as
second point, Pachoko.
ECG4 assume full responsibility of distribution, as you may not make this all say the PDS as
PDS I must make your back
for maintenance and
PDS
and management or let me
ECG
I'll say
over
PDS maintenance and management of the company. So ECG is now in for collections.
I am just hoping say it's a fake news.
Na ba kuno say enye ben yi na ya anka side down ho by na we side down to be ma. Anyway, what are
ECG for I feel say considering circumstances near my ekoso no aban emma ECG and handle Niema for now. Say nearby after the findings, because say what launching investigation.
I'm for GDC with the kind of people involved in this deal. There is no way the government can keep PDS off. No way.
And America say, if the president is really bent on achieving his industrialization drive agenda now, then he must prioritize the energy sector. Now I'm finding 9C form. Because if you TSM now, Chese Obefe me report via me saka me kind I
report via
report will be the same me on me say investigation be among guys be here, and you know it was just terrible. And you know me, I believe say Oman Penny should allow ECG handle whatever thing they are supposed to handle now. Now PDS4 should step aside, cause our launching investigation into a same way. It's only fair say Obama after the findings no you say aha and a uncle aha and a problem free, but aha now if they've now come back to maintain a manager, it's more of conflict of interest, because at the end of the day, you know, one honor say I'm PDS not information be now or say me farmer, I wouldn't open up, because I know at the end of the day, you know, ebe kweti ame. Ain't no man penny should Emma ECG4 enye numbeye. Ena ebi so no yate say almost freezy PDS for account.
Yeah,
I think it's also a good move. And in NASA investigation, I believe say it's too early to ask this question. But I believe say after the findings, no, you be baby problem, no challenges, no one, no. And you know, I'm say me kasa no enwa bebre, because I me sure any more say after findings no then we can make a full way of the
issue. Me text message back so now memra okatachisu tell. Now one quick comment here. Good evening, fellow freedom fighters. May the Almighty God give you courage to continue to speak truth to power. The current government and the special prosecutor are only playing games with our minds. The special prosecutor can prosecute Mama Yarga. He can investigate Charles Bisu, but he cannot investigate PDS. If we are seeing who papa. Happy belated birthday to Honorable Joseph Tete Akwete Joti, incoming member of Parliament for Pong Katabanso. Okay, this one is coming from Nano Siahine. Bobie, please, during Professor Mills' time, he ordered the police to release Nana Dakwa immediately. Kindly remind Okatechie MIA, also commander, to set the record straight. When Nana Dakwa was arrested and Professor Mills heard it, he instructed his immediate release and he was released as such. My good friend in the studio should present issues complete and not less. Now, wait, quick one, mame check it. We know will be please doing Professor Mills. Okay, we want funny Diamba. Good evening, Commander. Thanks for bringing back this AFCON Cup saga issue. And this is the first time our sports people are just quiet. Israel, Boche. Comrades, if NDC and Ghanaians wants to get power, and Unim, Jojo Taifa, Jojo, me was special reasons here, Ming Kai will test message we. If you have any allegations about Juju and Malams, I beg, count me out. Now, one from Kwabena Ansah Nana Kwabena Ansah says, "Baby, you are clear and loud." Adga Oduma said, "Wafake new plan station circle." Bobie Ansah, I'm asking you, what is NDC's alternatives for 2020 election? Greetings to Honorable Benjamin Seche, MP for Tano South, and Honorable Moses Abo. Madam for Wafake.
Ovake said you're ready so I can make us wait.
Lovely Akosia from Kaswa says Ghanaians should please leave Matiamidu alone. He said he cannot deal with the PDS case, and I don't see why we must argue about this. PDS should sit up if they still want to work with us, or else the government will terminate their contract with them, period. Regards to Honorable Babies, Hawa Kumsin and Kwame Eduda Kwasojaman. Farouk Tema says, Commander, I can confidently say President Akufo-Addo is the most abused politician in Ghana history. We can all do our mischievous propaganda, but let's not present the president as some caricature. Under President Akufo-Addo, every detail of a contract will be scrutinized. Let's be patient with him. Incorruptible Akufo-Addo is here to make Ghana work better. Blessed evening to Kwame Edudako and Kwasi Free Fabensa. Okay, Farouk Tema and Okatache Boja Yanante. Yanante.
Abradeli kai one him see a share your sorry anapa Yakobo Juma Yabre. So mine who don't Nini Pabonifu atwa mine ho ahia.
Yeah, omuntu ntimi nda.
Ai ntimi tonkopa na so still I back here adwena bo my Ghana. Dedi kai. Kwabena PDS sense mame fanfa honorable information minister ho kakra nsan maba. Obi nkan kire koju opon kroma senyo no kwa nenim nyanso kroma.
It's not fair.
No mbacho. Mame nkan wasem nyo na abekirem de menka. Ana nyo na abekirem de efe. Ene de enye fe. O frame me ba asem meka ma adwene. So you won't tell me how to go about it. Koyo ponkroma brofoka enchiri nyansa. Yes, na no ne brofo de pa. Yes, oye astute journalist par excellence. Na edru se bi nyansa uncredited Ghanaians with nyansa. When you be din komo, you have to give the person credit say or the faculty to reason inti entro chana was shu echa. Secondly, I don't know what is it with Kojo Ponkromani media guys, journalists, especially when you encounter with them. Sawasha ni dimina aso peso chiro se unshede nim wajuma into or no chiro. Who ask questions? Journalists ask questions. Then he want to restructure the question for them. Mackay, pay attention. as if say on natural how you should ask the question. Give the people the liberty. Professional do do something person allow the people to ask their questions anytime you come face to face with them and stop this way of trying to
be comfortable
because
Kwabena over friend will so obeka sa on kasa na wa famna I don't
famna support there ya build your house over famna support me fa on me support asemana ya build your man ya chere de nipa na ya
o se da no ne a chere odi wom
bukuru me di da mu deda na mfa me ho eso stay na be kasa o so say we deputy minister ne friend na no fa no kasa obey minister em friend no happy from shama no o so say buku da me fa buku me Mr. Kwajo Ponkruma adwuma na o ye no yes medical de man no we astute journalist. But when you say intimidating journalist, even no koye no abrante show so say Saturday morning show. Anani o sa anyini.
Joy.
Some say anani. Ayeni.
Something like.
Anu bi no koye no ho ani e born in Samra ni say, "Hey, we super no. We intimidating journalist."
What I mean is I want to be intimidated.
We share journalists for time on Mukoyes press conference. We journalists be a sorena obusa questioner. As if so look at your Ponkoma per se, journalists in Musa question it the way he would have asked the question if he was in his position. Allow people. Allow them. Anya na be chiro bi anyansa ekwan yom fa so musa ne question it was said I give a question I said there okay no one tiase means deliberately he does that said baby who say he is on top of issues obi kan just onyansa there no because it's a disgrace to the profession that brought him to where he is now. Just intimidation or share journalism. Your presidential meet the president. Same thing he was doing. Oh, Musa question. I saw your team be down. No, I said, did you mean? Did you the kind and one worker? And I want to question. Did you mean? And the bro for question. Now I don't blame them. There be a journalist for share for 1 year. The Bayamos.
And I want your question. So, mamma,
me be some family. Me your opportunity say I'm the good so. Secondly, Gemra PDS and some governor PDS home. Me problem in United say, Gaya Kay did it quite Ken Quangusi. I see near Jumaye. 1 more year fight more ever from ho. Medica say, on my way, the entire peace a womb. Not be a comfortable. Na ye ko day-to-day activity by you uproar bia uprise bia no because the larger society ignorant of what is happening around them. The larger society, the economic organized class no they omoye not pertaining to MPP nkoa NDC NPP some organized economic class for be omudie so omudie wo mu na nyansa bo akwase okrom ha wo makọ school enfante pemfo no adisada fo no pempefo no pempekwa de ane enfo nka ho mfukuma se asantefo da bi to boy asantefo school ni anshara enfo nka ho eturia adisada college enfante pempesek achimora you know sa school for no omokwai achimora yeah o free one omukọ landing school kakra eto omubai we kodi NDC na we kodi MPP ana omudwe so omunim nyansa chen wiase Ghana fo nyina apanyampa so omunim nyansa chen omuhunu say the people who attack them no ana omoform political parties too and then Nanado any JJ Rollins namfo pa so he can clearly tell you what I'm saying who kodi MPP who kodi NDC yanyasa de yakuno Nebo ma sell for nyen kan kira sell for say we have your interest at heart. Na da bia ento 10 cedi credit bo mu no mfa me di diatam. Etiya e betra ready so ayeka sei sabi ye ni adwuma ye. If said ye nyina so atobo abo so na taso enko ba bia. The enko ba bia ne say the larger society are ignorant of what is happening around them. The very day Ghanaians began to see exactly what is happening around them and how some organized economic class is taking undue advantage of them to steal from them the money that they contribute. That in Ghana Yabitum. Me say ada Ghana for na nkasa dodo ne betiasie. Eti na na do say free SHS no dey abano. Or set a trap amasa sexy government. Because now Nkoran be bribe sua de. Nkoran be bre ni bete. Nkoran be bribe hu na kenkan. Nkoran be bribe te de akoso na se on bebo politicians. Especially with this PDS deal. Na yenya se Obama poku ase. Yenya Prof Choko. Yenya eye Ochema Dansumai. Yenya eye Abrewa Bubuashi mayor. Yenya eye Jomo poku ase. They will defend this thing because they have been told this is your government. Irrespective of whatever. Let me state it here. Once and for all, they know the party I belong to. Me. They know the political party I belong to.
Yeah, of course.
I was born, bred, I breathe everything MPP. Me sure.
But you are not a hypocrite.
No. You're a hypocrite as I'm correct. Me sure. Me MPP ni mapa. Me host political show Happy FM. I win in Babu Kotana sa ko my MPP in fa one this in fa. Me MPP ni mapa. Me offer sebi o the MPP try me fruma. Ya wa en fifa o last week Saturday. Onu ti na me fifa. Me sia ja hene sokosi o se jensa. E de ni chine dwusu nyina me ehunu se kosi o se je. Komisa kosi o se je se one your friend the judge no be ka kire. It's MPP dia. Honam free. Honam team. Honam didie. I want to be MPP. National interest. We cannot continue to do MPP and DC. Exactly when some organized economic class, say MPP and DC can papa bomba. Now so swan kwa chemota. And fact me them ko en say me ko nkwa. Wan ko bina no ma anya kababi. Enwia wo mai we yanka omo. Ana omo tiase ho no. They are the very people who will come here and insult you. And you before you now commit a crime you. But that PDS deal will cost the whole government of Nana Kufuor Yen. Yes, sorry, Ahumache. Me Mitundra me find review. It is our government in Nana Kufuor government na me Kwefrifa. Me sorry ya krabua kota amfaso dokotwa. Chini comfort na me chini me sika plenty t-shirt ko busa krabo kota for se me single handedly na me ye campaign ma yepe na yepe ni me chini comfort me ko ye campaign ho nyina ya de nanado bai nemo some greedy people within this government will not let us see the real reason we brought Nanado to power. Here we are as a nation, and this Bible force our they are greedy, but the back stops with the president whom we gave the power to. So be crack a whip. Sometimes we get so disappointed in the leadership of Nanado. Say maybe then Nanado Ebano. Now me grace Nanado the second letter be shed bottom no sign. No bidding kwasi asemo de ni dia hyeso say je masake. 2 years, 3 years down. Not even a single person apart from Eyeboache Jako.
No cry sakeno.
I make myself come na mahiti, na shiti pa.
Yo.
Wabaya yetim PDS deal. Me remember Martin e bika mi do so. Many no bika pa. Now we can show credibility. He is the #1 hypocrite in this country. Martin e bika mi do. #1 hypocrite in this country. Please. Yeni abre, ya komo my jai. Enko minia. This one gba okra.
I take exception to that.
How would they take you? The other side take you, take you. They say Martin ABK Amidu is the #1 hypocrite. Said the Anana jailman tactics, a command dia, and obeying, and come on about the Kabi. You remember Martin ABK Amidu Benyan Hodaji, bet 30 minutes, Namdi. Now PDS deal. Koyo upon Koma Catcher, you say, government has set it a year, your friend say, dear committee. The investigation there.
Full scale investigation.
Call law more Musia law, Kwabena. Your friend be 2 cardinal principles of law. Say you will add the altering pattern. which says that everybody deserves a fair hearing before judgment is passed. Then you come to Nemo Judas in Korsasua, which says that you cannot be a judge in your own court. Abain, only PDS now could deal in the same court, and a PDS also a fraud. And a who are buying now, we are party to the deal. They catch it as a who are buying, who person you judge in your own court. We okay. Who are buying now, so person call you as a women. A buying their consent committee, a call here, as someone who are buying involved in. Because you are in Kosoro. Kwefri Fani, Bobie Ansah, and your case, and a Bobie Ansah, group Kwefri Fa. You see, why perpetrating fraud. And you say, Kwefri Fa say, oh, said you only in the Onwanga say consent committee. No corruption case. Oh, okay. But the larger society, ignorant. And the media for over the years. They are in the pocket of a kabano, Sakabani Kuyeno. Laboni Kokura Foni Shomubotum, Omunu Edidi. Laboni Fonua, Womo, and we are coffee down, so Monum coffee every day, Kuma, Omunu Edidi. I'm Shomubotum Kuma. And for that matter, Wonya Shasa will banner a media practitioner, and I will be such a journalist, Yaboyano. When you're watching us obey the right thing, you better cut off, we will kill you. And you know it. Wamaya yetimu no. Wamaya yetimu ano no. Na yamra mati na bi ka mi so. Abai sese opese ohwehwe sasem we ya. There should be an independent. Also America for say they should investigate this PDS issue thoroughly. Yeba. Me ga amne kure bubu. Abai enkanchere say Nancy Pelosi ansori anu krom ha. Ana meeting bia ankoso. What edia ne pamo eyekusie mani pia wia to the extent say anado 10 o'clock na Minister of Information bibi done so so o mesene ko press conference. Abai say Nancy Pelosi amepie krom ha. Ama meetings ankoso a edia na na ehye kodwo ponkroma se wadi mirikantente beba anado 10 o'clock abeka kire Ghana for say PDS do ne akate no edia na na pam no
odd hour
edia na na pam kodwo ponkroma o meka kire yenya sebi nkwase afo sa okrom hawo ana wo yiye dede tugum epistles and ye Jana Bible about chapters in Bia Kahon. Martin Edicamido. Yet desa citizen vigilante near budget so yanko driver me yanko yanko near budget so be budget ke fa hunyi na to form e be so jesi ama obi ba ma tie ba hunyi sa no nkase sa no on katawu Koem Martin Edicamido dun katawu to kasa epistles in your froze be and the Martin Edicamido kachira ye say ye esino oni eye sebi what it takes to investigate. Now a person kachira me say conflict of interest na Ghanaians say cry about say enkrofo a womo involved with this PDS deal, they have a connection with the president and the president's family. A person kachira me say oh yeah law from tete wonim say conflict of interest is an element in finding fraud. Martin became the person catching me every verse. So when him say conflict of interest is an element to determine fraud. Into show me. And then Martin became do catch say. And brana ye shichere no money ye jumano. Waji ya no war kan sana president he appointed no. It wa hunu say samra we ntimi ma nem fight course me to a point. And then wo chire machire. We a hypocrite. ABK amidu we a hypocrite. And when I say hypocrite, not him as a person for the life of a living, but in this position as a special prosecutor, he is number one hypocrite. What wrong? When himself act no I dear master for your man. A man crime anya near maybe. Anu abanu abetina ho. Anu aji esika. Enfie ba akum yenu and ekui. ana to na di sika ana nim say act ne ma kwa ma hwehwe nsem bi mu ana ade brofo e tire pistols e tire ye kwa afrifa ukruma mate ne bi ka mido kwa we munye obi ade o me ka kire Kwabena me ka kire play kwa we munye obi ade
nipa ni bidia
ye gina ye dia
nipa ni bidia
na one day born one day die
now they almost sneak back PDS
Kwabena me say one day born one day die
now
we have to speak truth to power.
say comrade no me
Martin A.B. Kamidu is a hypocrite, especially in his position as the special prosecutor. So when him say, what your pistols are what pistols are yet the Paul Chokoma Sebi your friend say, conscience and would your door to channel, and so that's to a GP. We are okay. Martin A.B. Kamidu, what is wrong with you? Na ati wana sabi unim se emwa ma wonya adwuma se de opese ye resign etu mi agye di sam panyampa ye sakewo as the attorney general kama na wo Professor Mills abem nyo na resign ye ko so anka sa resignation won tampe udidi a wonpe Kwabena omudi ya sika adwananka krom ha ache emra du se emema be ame up ne yakasa medical state categorically
they don't care
me fancy that na nsie so da me se me young people ni me young people ni obi a wotie me show bia me tena makonya ni mo young people samo ma ho me mo young people ni mapa me fancy da ye jira simpio so ye campaign mananado all the advert uhuru ye on TV everywhere I am the one who did it all the key voice over say ye on radio me na be ye ko we mu eti mo sa sabi kwa hwe akofo na ya na mo da ho a ya soma mo se mo medi diatama ya mo diatama e bia sacrifice ya for the party to get to where they are e bia na okra wo nye sa sacrifice no nemo about national interest say you fight for the interest of the nation. It doesn't matter whether MPP or NDC. Why should we focus on MPP and NDC? From 1992 basically I have thrown in a challenge from 1992 basically. Tell me one single person who has successfully been jailed for the act of corruption. Kwabena. Oga come say Victor Solomon. And why? Mind you, corruption in our books, in our laws, is way far different from causing financial loss to the state. Omaya etima yesi yenyabre fight corruption. And so in the Criminal and Other Offences Act in 1960 Act 29, it tells us clearly that corruption is a mere misdemeanor. You fight for us. See a changing a year corruption will come here. We should make it a second degree felony. Nobody cares. Cause scratch my back, I scratch your back. MPP bar. Omu wonkophobia omu deal breakers. Omu de bedi DNDC fo no a edi boni nanim e challenge fa kakra ba enyenko hu e ma. Fa kakra ba enyenko hu e ma. Aba so tane ya na NDC fo deal breakers. Omu so aba wote ha me se PDS asem we ewu enko ba bia NDC bo NDC amo enko ba bia because the very moment NDC will come to power there were power breakers room. Omu de bedi PDS fo na omu nanim challenge bra enyenko hu e ye. Bra enyenko hu e ana wo tiase ho na wo ye MPP NDC sebi o sebi wa dwene da tirimo de yedai meri do kata chief information adwuma ye no man we mu no me say Martin A.B. Kamidu so owo sebi credibility a resign da bia no atwere pistols na pistols this chasakasa media attention ye A.B. Kamidu de che adwuma na obeye no oba ya also obi the office akotua eyetet Kwabena so condition so na my 16 why oba ya also obi the ne office ako yi cars 30,000 no di akiri to pick we mu energy minister ka kire ye say a fraudulent act na ko jo pon kroma ka kire say oh we are still doing investigation now when your investigation we are can back to the point to say you suspended. So my way see atimoni because judo na wase ho na yeso mo sori e demand accountability from the people they elect into office. The people are ignorant, they don't care, and they've been pushed to a point. You see Kwabena no
yeah,
people have been pushed to the point where they don't care about what happens around them anymore. Na baby ayakono wa Kwabena ebedum pempenso bi politicians will be beaten in this country for nothing. And if there is anybody who thinks that day will never come on this even ho Because don't forget, the same Ghanaians now almost shouting, let the blood flow. Sa bloodline and that's on nobody wish for this country to be destabilized. But then again, when the people for so
they have the money.
Oh, money in carry Kwabena Gaddafi no was catching woman. Gaddafi was catching 100 million times. Anyway, I know politicians all come and say when they go out of power after 2 years, onika pre. Because someone can say na crack and they manage a year companies, businesses onye bida.
Enunti na we mu de on person omunye ska.
Onye free fuel, onye free this, free that, free this. It mean politicians I don't envy them. I don't envy politicians. I don't envy no politician in this country. And a journalist who come here cheap, journalists who come here weak bebrenti. They think politicians are masterminders and they have to always be on their side instead of being a voice for the voiceless.
All right. All right. Live on Accra 100.5. Let's go. Pacho me basis here. All right. Now, text messages be brave, but listen, that also person would take remember want to be floor. Quick one, I said about the commercials.
Yo, the attorney say, Commander, I want us to draw a line between say Abain say we detected adia ye friend say fraud no. Say minua kasano. That bit of it no. Enya Abain e detected ye. Abain no ohun say bibi kwachiwa enya American government. Awonu di ni sika bo adie wei hu bra no. Ana omubufu ye. Hwe se wote wo mamu na wo nika pre a wo de beye enyinam kane ahu bibi na obi apagya ne sika do so pro de brewo na wo akoti company epese wo die eyade ase bi ehu pa entino emamu me yan limit no se aban no waya ade bi aban no waya ade ankasa bi nkokusie de opiawia
Mr. I coins Kwabena say otie or person or we make quick intervention. Yeah, Ima Akwawa.
Yenya Bobie.
Yeah, quick one also person clear you be kitchen.
Yeah, minchia mpenyfo and omo honmo.
Omojo.
Obi enenwumre in fact since Endra throughout and there mira ho kakra. PDS in Sensemekosi, it seems a lot of people still are understanding of it here. And the more in Crawford ekasa about and on it the more mislead the public. Mem be kasapi enfa near Coxo because last Tuesday minya kwai our studio any amount for din komo. And now no pensu minya kwai kakra any amount for idin komo. The MS say the media houses, especially the credible ones, like a platform and some few other platforms now. Yen continuously repeating the actual facts so that the populace will come to understand the ecoso. But in summary, some bonnet just summary. PDS in Sansoma Ecoso are clearly a fight between the Achems and then individuals. Almost initially, you form and common front to Made Emma Achim for no. All of a sudden, Omo decided to Omni Achim for no Ebeko. PDS in Sansoma Ecoso, it is not about the interest of this nation. It is more about who is going to take majority shares. So that for the next 20 years, Sa Unipakono, another group of persons, they will take care and they will be in charge of this country as far as the energy sector and then ECG is concerned. But the PDS in Sansoma Ecoso, this 30 years ultimatum, 30 days ultimatum.
Hello?
Hello, Bobie.
Yeah, Mr. Wonka, Yanko.
Martin, me say this 30 days are binding to just or the investigation. The reality on the ground is a 30 days are more like extra time. or the local companies no for them to come to terms with almost initial plan. The initial plan by the government. Now me buy the other 3 individuals are buying Omubeka consortium so that they will be in charge of the shares, and the majority of the shares.
Yeah.
And draw any information may take it. Philip Ayensu or represented TJ, your friend saying TG Energy Solutions. Any Santa, any the other company, say initially they didn't want to play ball with that team.
Yeah.
Intel I may taking it say Endrani and even ene area. Omni attend for any meeting. The omni better and say, oh, matter me who say public more instigate public against the public they will support you to dissolve your company and the international around the table.
We have a problem with this issue with a chimfo. I have issue. Last week me raised our concerns with you. Mm-hmm. Yes, okay, say Kufuado ne family members from Bemo. I don't have any problem.
Let me rephrase it. I understand you perfectly, and I'm happy that you've made this you've helped me to make this correction.
Because you're watching from here and
specifically making reference to the finance minister.
Okay.
To Gabi Ocheredako, to Bonti Oye, the president's brother, and then Asante Bedi too. Which me also.
Bachai.
Endra any meetings are Ekosono. HRS clearly said these original companies, TJ, Santa, and the other one, they are having a meeting, a series of meetings with these individuals. Now meetings, no negotiation. Ekosono said, okay, initially, Namikra 28%. But now come up with shares media na me opposing it, Maba out about the use of fraudulent grounds to castigate my company. The truth of the matter, I say, the fraudulent issue are by erasing. That is the truth. You understand? The truth because initially, these companies, passing through the process, passing through the actual process, there were so many things that are buying so. Because now buying himself more interest in these companies. And this fraudulent issue are buying raised here, and some other things are buying has not raised yet. They are realities. These original companies, and Rani and no one will say, look, say yes, Cathy fight are buying craft stronger structures more than we do. And say 4% crowd buying person of the Mayeno. Say it will end up becoming even 0%. And we finding ways of sitting with Abai so that we will start playing balls and we will accept the terms and conditions. Endra any letters Ansah indicate to say this is the process they have started. And every they had a meeting. Bobie, I'm putting on record, and I want your panel members and I want the entire nation through your medium. I'm putting on record say the started and ran say a continuous by next week they will come to a conclusion. But back to a conclusion. All they will do is to wait for the 30 days ultimatum. South Ghost in Kofua are buying air castle. They send them to Qatar to go and do investigation. They will come back and tell us investigation. In fact, they were misled, but everything is under control.
Wow.
So they will say that everything is under control, and that will mean say the new entity now me buy me bobo
SPV.
Yes. After the 30 days, they will say everything is under control, and so the SPV is going into operation. The SPV is going into operation because and draw any and the coming days meetings are almost it will end up say let us accept the SPV and let us accept the conditions of the government. Bobie, what is happening? I am sad because the next 20 years, which is the agreement that has been given as far as the SPD is concerned, PBS is concerned, the PBS is concerned, the next 20 years is just this handful of people. Omo and Omo Babe milk the energy sector. Even whether Omo Abimu and Omo Ni Abimu, they are those going to be in charge of the energy sector. But as I keep saying, because the media seem not to even understand the issues. Government is happy the way the media and some communicators are misrepresenting the whole fact, because at the end of the day, what is happening is they are getting more confused. And the more they get confused, the more the Aba is able to perpetrate its evil plans.
Well, I hope Saturday morning you be an extensive discussion on this matter.
At the end of the plan.
Thank you, my brother.
Yeah, that's it.
All right. Yegusu juya so yenu plus so to yankra and in some system for 1 minute na if I saw no my done 1 minute say
commander
and then they may for callers and then they may beam but quick one now about corruption issues
say maka na mesi sudua say His Excellency Nanado Dankwa Akufo-Addo onye careful pa na say MPP yabanku a oye ama edina omampani Akufo jato ho no oye ama na say because utimi nkan che me say omampani enim sade ekoso ho hwe because aya krono obi bo krono a now your mampani na say bio say the menu kan say we dey fan say mampani kwa the detective say and I say aban the detective say bibi koso you don't suspend it immediately now
it's a contract the moment you have fraud
and because a breach of trust immediately obi ben uni obi here there obi breaching trust and I say there's a breach of trust no minia ye ne nton koso kran kosi nkomia biem enti adia omampani ye no owetima ye with impunity sabio I know say any sabi record no he has broken all records ohwe ohinto reporter etain no flag bearer in this world say waje parties ka what they are called Regi France UK or buyer ukra 52 1,000 no crown so cry pledge wakwaji sika or PPP of pounds oko buyer with the 52,000 e buy and no cry pledges on him to report no kan airtime and such a person is our president today. Now a whole national asset like ECG hey now the crown usra me maami abrewa ono sebio ene nitiri wa bobi na japade o power for na omo didi traffic mu no na japade o na wo pe woni obusua wo pesa mo fa na se bi sa se mo ekura no se bi uwu a wo na nkasa kwa
we are seconds no mo nya na busua for
no I mean I just want
Santa Power